Craig Smoak.
All right, LSU 2025 schedule. Again, not a prediction, but just a preview. And last year, 9-4 finish for the Tigers. A big win down at the Texas Bowl over Baylor in what turned out to be one of the more thrilling games when all was said and done, I think, in all of bowl season. But the Tigers, after looking like they were going to be blowing out the Bears, suddenly had to clutch their pearls a little bit, held them off, and got the win to finish 9-4 overall. 5-3 in the SEC, big-time quarterback coming back. But what does the schedule look like? That's why we're here. And, well, it opens up with a doozy on Saturday, August the 30th. All Saturday games for LSU. But the first one, it will be a big-time clash as they take on the Clemson Tigers, an evening game on ABC there in Week 1 in Clemson, South Carolina. So a big test for both teams right out of the gates the following week. After that mega matchup, it'll be La Tech in Baton Rouge. That's already been announced as an SEC network game. Then the following week, Week 3, start SEC play, as it will be rival Florida Gators in Death Valley, 6:30. And I guess that first game, Battle of Death Valley, I should have probably mentioned that as well. So the Death Valley Barbs will go back and forth, and Clemson will have their turn to show off theirs. But
How can there be two?
There's not.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh.
Clemson fans would say this.
Whoa.
Clemson fans would say the same thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you'll have that, which just dawned on me. But then big time rival with Florida there on Saturday, September the 13th, and then they continue on. No breaks so far. Saturday, September the 20th, Southeastern Louisiana on the SEC network, and then to close out the month of September, so they will not have any bye weeks whatsoever there in the first few weeks. Like basically every schedule we've had, I don't know how many teams played like 5 in a row, but LSU will, and they will close things out there in September with a road trip to take on the Ole Miss Rebels and Lane Kiffin. So at Clemson to open the year, La Tech at home, Florida at home, Southeastern Louisiana at home, and then at Ole Miss. And then as the month of September closes, LSU will take a break before getting into pretty much full-blown SEC play outside of the, game later in the year.
Yeah, look, Clemson, Florida, Ole Miss in the first wave of games that's really tough. If they're certainly improved, we'll know it right away for LSU. I mean, obviously they've got a lot coming back. They've added a lot. There's been maybe a better financial commitment to the portal, especially some of that money's coming right from Brian Kelly. So you would know it right off the bat. I have a proposition for the Clemson game. The winner gets to call their stadium Death Valley and be the Tigers for that year. But for the rest of the year, they have to change. The loser has to be the litter box. And instead of the Tigers, they have to be the Minuets.
What the hell is that?
It's a really fruity looking cat breed.
What do you mean by fruity? Like colorful?
It's like a really
fancy.
puffy, like lame looking cat. Like one that you would like, hello, kitty. Yeah, like that kind of cat. You wouldn't be afraid of a Minuet. Like it's one that it's a fat one that sits around. It's bring me my fancy feast.
I think the Minuet sounds cool. I wish somebody would name their mascot that.
Well, I mean, the bragging rights for Death Valley actually might be kind of cool. Don't think that's in the cards. And to my knowledge,
they don't put me in charge of the market.
Yeah, so. No, it would be too fun and make too much sense. They got to do other wilder stuff. But I mean, I think that's something that you could have out there that would be quite fun. But next year, LSU will get their turn, and they will host Clemson in part 2 of that arrangement. But for now, Death Valley and Clemson, what a game that ought to be. So after that first stretch, get into SEC play further with their October 11th return, and they will see Lenore Sellers and the Gamecocks at home in Baton Rouge. Then October the 18th, they'll travel to Nashville, meet up with Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt. October 25th, Texas A&M at home there in the great state of Louisiana. And then they get their second of the 2 bye weeks. So that second stretch, South Carolina at home, Vandy on the road, Texas A&M at home.
They don't have – I mean, I know Vandy most years would be their,
rival.
SEC walkover team, right?
Oh, okay.
But that they don't. They're like, and we'll get into the rest of it. But really, they don't have that. Like they've got a good chunk of the tougher teams in the SEC. Like there's not Kentucky on the schedule.
Mississippi State.
They're not on this. So
we're not done with the schedule
yeah,
yet.
but even still, like, spoiler, they're not on it because who's on it is pretty stiff competition.
Who is their number one rival?
Technically, if you go back, the record books would say Mississippi State, which makes no sense to me.
No.
I think it's it's Florida or Alabama.
That's what I thought. They have both of them. Okay. All right. I was wondering about Florida. That's an early game for a rivalry game. Then.
I think it's Bama, but Florida's right there. Yeah. I mean, I'd say it's those two. And LSU, Florida, maybe at different times, a bigger
Miss,
rivalry.
I guess not. Yeah.
Do what?
Ole Miss, but I guess not.
It feels like it should be just geographically.
Yeah.
But it's a second tier for both of them, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, Magnolia Bowl. I mean, there is a rivalry to it. I just don't think that's the one that people really point to as their biggest one by any stretch. So go to phase 3 of the schedule for LSU and get into the stretch run here. November the 8th, after that second bye week, on the road in Tuscaloosa for a matchup with Alabama. Then back home, taking on Arkansas on the 15th of November, followed by another home game. And I'm going to coin this the SEC special. That's what I'm going to start calling those late season non-con automatic wins that get Arkansas bowl eligible. So then you can brag about how there's 14 teams that are bowl eligible. The SEC special, I just wish I would have thought about it earlier. But y'all heard it first here. Western Kentucky on November the 22nd, and then they close things out at Oklahoma on November the 29th. So final stretch, we'll see them taking on Bama and OU on the road with Arkansas and Western Kentucky sandwiched in between.
Yeah, and here's the thing, Arkansas, that's, I guess, technically their walkover, right? It would be, but it never is for LSU.
No, because it's the battle of the boot.
Yeah, exactly. So because it's one of those rivalry games, and Arkansas cares about it just a little bit more than LSU because Arkansas has been so down for so long. So that's their silver tuna every year. Like that's the one that they really want. And there have been games where Arkansas, a couple years ago, if for not Harold Perkins existing,
for real,
like they lose the game because Arkansas just played so much harder than everybody but Harold Perkins. And so that's always kind of a scary one for them, even at home. There were a couple years, like years back, where juggernaut LSU teams have gotten popped by Arkansas out of nowhere.
Yep.
They're like Kansas State to Texas. Well, I guess now in Kansas to Texas at the end, but forever Texas had the heart. Like they'd be rolling along, they'd play Kansas State, and they would lose. They'd be like, "What the hell?"
That was their Achilles.
Yeah,
it was. Yep.
So massive opening game there for LSU with Clemson. That'll be great to start the season off with, and then a nice closer there with Oklahoma as they start to plant the seeds for what that rivalry will look like in the SEC. But as far as who they do not play, there is no Auburn on the schedule for LSU, no Georgia, no Kentucky, no Mississippi State, no Missouri, no Tennessee, and no Texas. So that's who they miss out on, which, Georgia and Texas are obviously coming off of the playoff. Missouri's a solid squad. Tennessee, who knows, but obviously a playoff team a year ago, despite all the changeover. Auburn, who the hell knows? Kentucky, that'd be one you'd want to play. You would think if you're looking for wins at least, that would be the one year, or well, Mississippi State as well would be the other one. But yeah, they miss out on both those. So 9-4, is that they going to get back to that or even greater?
Oh, they better be better than 9-4.
I think my max was when I was asked to do a prediction for them. I did 9-3 regular season. I'm nervous. I don't think they can make the playoff.
Well, 9-3 means they won't be in the playoff.
I don't think they make the
not
playoff.
unless they, because if they have
maybe they can play in the playoff playoff.
Maybe
play
that double elimination game on that weekend of the first weekend.
Actually, that's now a TLC match. Tables, ladders, and chairs. They're incorporating WWE rules for the play-in games to spice them up even further.